Good evening and welcome to the Pension Fund Investment Advisory Panel Committee. This is part one of the meeting. Agenda point one is apologies for absence. Nima, are there any absences?
I didn't receive anything, but Tina will be the one apologies today.
Okay. Part two, does anyone want to declare any interests?
No.
Minutes of the previous meetings as seen in the distributed documents. Can I have a proposal that they're a fair account of what happened? Councillor Bush, seconder. Councillor Allison. Okay. Anyone not accepting them? Thank you. Moving on to the point four, which is the quarterly performance review. I remind everyone that this is just to note the content of the report. I draw specific sort of reference to the overarching, the most important sort of aspect of it, which is paragraph 2.3, which is over the 3 months to the 31st of March 2020, total fund assets returned a negative 12.5% compared to the target of 1.2%. This equates to underperformance by 13.5%. The fund's total market value decreased by 98.7 over the quarter from 787 million to 688.5 million. However, subsequently, we've seen a increase in the market value to an asset to worth 771 million as of at the end of May 2020. So in simple terms, the report seems to demonstrate that we've pretty well weathered the storm that coronavirus brought on the economic markets. Are there any further questions on the part one version of that report? Bearing in mind we're going to discuss the confidential parts in part two of this meeting. Okay, thank you. Merton Pension Fund Audit Plan. Roger, Nima, do either of you want to speak to agenda point 5, please?
Yes, Chair, I can if you like. Really, this is the audit plan is that is the one that went to Standards and General Purposes Committee. It's come here a little bit later because of the timing, but it effectively outlines the approach that our auditors are going to make towards auditing the accounts, which are largely for which the audit is largely completed as we speak. And I'll bring Naima in a minute to give you a quick update on how that audit's gone. But the basic format of the plan is as you can see attached to this paper, and it outlines their approach, how they approach risk and materiality, and the key risks that they have identified previously in scope of the report, and of course their fees or proposed fees for the audit. But that audit is now largely complete, and of course they will be reporting back to a future panel meeting with the findings of the audit of the pension fund accounts. So that's really all it is. It's just a bit of catch up from that point of view. Naima, do you want to just very briefly update on progress with the audit?
Before we move on to actually Nima speaking about the audit itself and how it's been conducted, Councillor Bush, do you have a question on the methodology, i.e. the plan part of it?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Roger, because obviously the audit planning was done pre-COVID, etc. Was there any sort of extra changes to the audit plan? Because obviously the year end is 31st of March 2020,
yes.
Around going concern on the pension fund and its reliance on the employer. I know obviously appreciate the scheme is sort of fully funded, but was there extra work around that which could give obviously trustees comfort, and B, is there extra fees or anything in relation to that?
Yes, there was. I mean, Naima can come in after me, but what they require from us is a going concern statement, and that's both on the pension fund and indeed on the main accounts as well. And that is currently being prepared and discussed with our auditors. So inevitably there will be extra work from our auditors in terms of satisfying themselves that this is a going concern, as local authorities tend to be going concerns for all sorts of reasons. But yes, there has been some extra work that they will do. Of course, remembering that although the outbreak happened just really in the last couple of weeks of the financial year, you're absolutely right, Councillor Bush, that it will materially impact on the future viability. And as you can see from the previous performance report, the impact that's had on the investments, at least in the short term, although in the medium term we expect them to return. So yes, there is extra work that's being done by our auditors, and that work is ongoing. Naima, I don't know whether you want to come in and add to that.
Just one point, because we did another valuation, quick summer valuation as 31st of March 2020 to understand where we are after the 2019 valuation. The good news is, because of the methodology Barnett-Waddington used, we are still in 103% funded as at 31st of March 2020, and that gave the auditors another comfort. And also, as going concern, as Roger mentioned, we reported on the draft take on the value at 31st of May, which was about 771 million. And today I have the June value. The fund value has gone to 784, almost back to where we were in December. So all this information will be provided to the auditors, and also the one additional information on the cash flow they asked for them, probably for about good 12 months forecast, and which I have prepared and given to them, and they are reviewing currently. And these all related to the COVID. In addition to the normal audit, everything, we closed the accounts remotely, audit was taken place remotely. Everything went well. We are ahead of the timetable, and so probably they are in the last bit of doing few testing, and they will come and report to you in September. And related to COVID-19, Roger, if I'm right, they're doing a further update to Standard and General Purpose Committee in this month, isn't it?
They are, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, any further questions on the issue of the audit plan? Do you want to say any more, Roger, Nima, on the audit plan, or are you content?
No.
Okay, that's great. Any other business for this part of the meeting? With regards to future meeting dates, they'll be confirmed later, as I want to discuss with members during part 2 about the work plan. At this point now then, I resolve that the public are excluded from the meetings due to consideration of reports on the grounds that they're exempt from disclosure for the reasons stated in the reports. As such, part 1 of the meeting ends.